Yesterday and today with Saint Elisabeth we are celebrating a saint who was outstanding in charity. Yesterday we meditated on that their life example, their compassion and solidarity for the poor and those in need was a humanizing force in medieval Europe. Without Christian charity offered by women and mothers, Europe would have been a much more cruel place. We even drew the conclusion that the social unconscious of Europe is Christian compassion and solidarity. And today, when we very briefly make a reference to Pope Francis's Laudato Si, his encyclical letter on care for our common home, I just wonder that if they lived together, what would be their charisma? What would be their main focus? And it seems that serving the poor, in terms of serving our wounded nature and environment, the wounded ecosystem, would be their priority. So when we remember them, let us draw strength from their commitment and try to see with their eyes what nature is in need of. And I just wonder, when in this country we encounter the upheavals caused by movements like Stop Oil, when they are blocking the motorways, or when they are destroying by painting the facades of houses in Zone 1 into yellow and orange. I just wonder that their attitude today, if they were saints, living today, fighting as it were, loving for the same cause, it seems that there would be a difference, because they did it in peaceful means. And I'm just thinking that back to their period, when they saw the outcrying inequality in society between the wealthy and the poor in the courts where they lived, their response wasn't organizing terrorist attacks on knights, destroying castle, or deploying violence, but turning to the poor, serving their needs. And a life example from our estate comes to my mind, that on a housing estate which is full of littering and all kinds of debris scattered around, when someone day in and day out voluntarily picks it up and collects it after people, this is what is a kind of grassroots revolution, and a similar act of charity than Saint Elisabeth or Margaret of Scotland. And what I like to quote just one paragraph, one article from Laudato Si, Article 30, about water. The Pope speaks in these paragraphs the issue of water, of the effects of contamination, and how it affects the poor. But Article 30 highlights something important, that access to safe drinkable water is a basic and universal human right. And when I read the paragraph, it comes to my mind that relating to water, it's a powerful symbol, because it's part of the very core of nature's life. Somehow we could relate to this mission, to this compassion through the water of baptism, the water of our own baptism, which gives life to our soul. So the Pope says, even as the quality of available water is constantly diminishing, in some places there is a growing tendency, despite its scarcity, to privatize this resource, turning water into a commodity subject to the laws of the market. Yet, access to safe drinkable water is a basic and universal human right, since it is essential to human survival and as such is a condition for the exercise of other human rights. Our world has a grave social debt towards the poor who lack access to drinking water, because they are denied the right to life, to a life consistent with their inalienable dignity. This debt can be paid partly by an increase in funding to provide clean water and sanitary services among the poor. But water continues to be wasted, not only in the developed world, but also in developing countries which possess it in abundance. This shows that the problem of water is partially an educational and cultural issue, since there is little awareness of the seriousness of such behavior within a context of great inequality. So whether sensitized to this call, to this kind of solidarity with nature or not, let us try to approach it through the gift of our baptism, as that water, as also part of our physical environment, gave life to our soul, abundant life, eternal life. Let us pay at least a fraction of it back to our earth community.